And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It is Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. Hope you're having a good day. As always, we have a ton to cover in the allotted time that we have. Thank you for listening. If you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our X feed. Don't follow us on X, you should. Just put our name in. If you'd like to email us, just be nice. By the way, we'll also post it on podcast apps on the YouTube channel called Biz TV. Check it all out. Let's talk markets, but not exactly today's market yet. So I got sent something, and this has been reported, and I made sure not to look at whether this was a Republican or Democrat. By the way, this has everything to do with markets. Representative Tim Moore, don't know if he's a Republican or Democrat, never heard of him, bought Intel stock on July 31st and August 7th. He bought Intel stock July 31st, August 7th. Mr. Moore, or Congressman Moore, sits on the House Committee on Financial Services, as well as Digital Assets and Financial Technology and Artificial Intelligence. A week later, it is floated that the Trump administration would take a stake in Intel. On August 22nd, the stake was taken. During that time, CEOs of SoftBank, NVIDIA, and others were visiting Washington, D.C. SoftBank on 8/18 took a stake, and on September 18th, NVIDIA takes a huge stake, and Intel stock gaps up big time. We have said to you on this show, because of the massive debt and deficits through the years, we have no respect for any of these politicians. And we know there's a couple there that are against it, but they have no say. We'd like to have respect for these politicians. We'd like to praise them. This bullcrap insider trading that we would go to jail for has got to stop. I'm not accusing this representative of anything. I'm just reporting to you the news. They don't even care how things look. They don't even care. The Queen Pelosi has made bazillions, but there are plenty of others. There's a move afoot in Washington, D.C. to stop these people from trading. I don't mind them trading. They can trade all they want. Not on the stocks that they have oversight on. You and I go to jail. Let me repeat, you and I go to jail if we know material information that is not public and we trade on it. This is not the first time we have reported something like this. It's not the first time. We've reported on many others. We're in hopes that this representative did not know anything about the deal. The deals. But I'm a very big believer in 1 + 1 = 2. And when we see so many of these people in D.C. doing this, and again, I don't know if he's a Republican or Democrat, we will report on all of them. We will report on all of them. Now I am going to go look in real time to see whether he's a Republican or Democrat. Representative Tim Moore. Is American a politician, a U.S. Representative of North Carolina, 14th District, and he's new since 2025. Just recent. He previously served as a Speaker of the North Carolina House of Representatives from 2015 to 2025. He's Republican Party. We wanted to start with that today. We're so fed up. We're so fed up. How many times have we complained to you about other countries where the few become bazillionaires by plundering? Is this any different? Do you know a bunch of politicians are made fun of on social media? Do you know there are social media accounts that only follow these politicians, and when they report, it's like, you got to be kidding me. People that are on the committees for drugs and things like that are buying stocks of companies they oversee, and somehow you get big news within 30 days, and they don't even care. And you would think that the media, the defenders of the people, would be yelling and screaming about this, but they don't. Do you know why? Because their party does it big time. If their party didn't do it, but the other party did, they would be reporting on it. Just remember how it works. The corruption on the left is gargantuan. This guy's on the right. We segue. The president now wants to take a position in a lithium company. Socialist Donald Trump wants the government involved now with a lithium company. So a stock, Lithium Americas, that, by the way, has no sales. And it says a Canadian-based company. Really? I thought we're about all America. Anyway, the stock was up 96% today because of socialist Donald Trump wants to take a position in it. Because it's lithium? Really? They're seeking an equity stake of as much as 10%. But we're not done, because we also read today that socialist Donald Trump, and by the way, socialism is about governments running our companies, central banks, I can go on. U.S. in discussions to set up a $5 billion fund to invest in mining. So I can tell you that SCCO was up $9 to 119, but FCX was down $7 to 37. Winners and losers. By the way, we say the word socialist with love. But we don't want our government involved in owning companies. No, we don't. Now, we know they did a little bit of that when you had the 2008 nightmare. It should only be in some sort of emergencies. And not even then. But we got now Intel. They're going after lithium and mining. God only knows what's next. Oh, and this is going to set such a precedent. I've been telling you about these tariffs that he's doing. Oh, I cannot imagine what Gavin Newsom, if he became president, what he would do with tariffs. Holy hell. Hey, up next, the markets. News of the day. This is the one only Investor's Edge. And if any of you conservative Republicans who all of a sudden like tariffs and believe it's good for the government to be running businesses and have no independent central bank, you're not conservative. Just letting you know. Dow was down 171 today. Let's see. Of note, Amgen was down 8 and change. We've been telling you about the big biotechs. Goldman Sachs, for a change, was down 14. Weaker banks. The only thing that was up today was J.P. Morgan, which is in the Dow. IBM down 5, has been rallying. So kind of a rough day for the Dow. S&P was down 19, was worse. NASDAQ down 75 was worse. I think the NASDAQ today, if I am correct, give me a sec here, hit 22,397. Was down about 22,397. Was down 175, finished only down 75. Russell 2000, about 1%. That was weak. Gold pulled back today. Not a biggie. What else? Oil stocks mostly green. Oil prices up decently. China. Alibaba announces some AI stuff, and the stock goes up another 13 today. What did we tell you? That's all it takes. I got to tell you, Tesla was up another 17 today, and that looks headed for the old highs, which is quite amazing. They bounced some of the consumer staples. They bounced the insurance. I'll tell you what they hit good. And we'll keep this in the file manager. Private equity companies, they hit today. That is KKR, EVR, that's Evercore. That got smacked. Blackstone got hit pretty good today. What's that other one? Apollo. 5, 6, 7%. That's always something I watch. And as I mentioned, Goldman had a rough day, but I don't think it's a biggie. Bitcoin and Ethereum bounced a little bit. I have to tell you, miners of Bitcoin, just a big wow. They've had a really good move. But also, what have we been whining about a little bit here? And you know we whine. The no sale stuff. They clipped some of them for 10% today. Some a little bit more. But they've had a great move, so it's not like that's abnormal. But remember what we've told you about those stocks if we go into a bear market again, or when. I also have to mention some leading stocks that we haven't talked about a lot, but simple ALAB down $25 today, about 11%. Talk about a softening in their business, which also took down CRDO. That was down about 8%. These have been very strong names on very strong earnings results. And they pulled in a bunch of extended stuff. Remember the data storage stuff because of all the news that we're hearing on how much money's going to be spent to be watched. And by the way, my blanket statement on the numbers that are being told to us on the spend of artificial intelligence. I have only one statement in mind. I only have one statement. They better do those numbers. I did a little talk yesterday on this vendor financing thing. Again, hope you look it up. We worry when companies are investing in other companies who buy that first company's products. Oh, and look at all these revenues we have. Even though we gave them the money to buy it. Our stuff. Did something that happened in 98, 99, 2000 and all hell broke loose. We are not saying the same thing happens. We're just reporting to you. That's all we're doing. What is happening? Quite weird. They hit the contract manufacturers today, the electronic contract manufacturers. They have been strong. And just all those. Micron reported very good numbers, was up 10 in the aftermarket yesterday, finished down 5. So, but we don't see that as a big deal because it's had a good move. And sometimes these things have to settle down, have to pull back, have to hang out. NVIDIA, after a beautiful reaction to the news on Monday, almost is getting it all back. When we're only talking 2-3%, and remains range bound. But boy, that looked like it was going to. Wondering if the market's thinking about what we're mentioning to you here. Just wondering. I want you to remember, we've studied every market. And in particular, we really have studied the 87 crash. We went back and spent many hours on the 87 crash. We were in the penny stock business back then, so we knew nothing about the markets. And we wanted to see, we did it without bias. Wasn't easy, but we did it without bias. Would we have been out of the market before the crash? And it was an absolute yes. Because things were breaking down before, and we know what to do. But we've also studied big time 98, 99, especially 99 from November to March of 03. But we've studied all the things that were going on during that time and all the predictions that blew up in the face, leading to an 80% drop in the NASDAQ. We're just letting you know. Up next, speaking of letting you know, that'll be up next on this, the one and only Investor's Edge. So, back in 99, before the 80 some odd % drop in the NASDAQ, we've gone backwards, and we've already told you these things, but a few things that were going on back then. Everybody was announcing internet stuff. Everyone. Everything. You had companies changing their names and just adding .com to them to goose their stocks. You had mutual fund companies change names of mutual funds from technology fund to the internet fund. No, not kidding. For marketing purposes. and you had big numbers being talked about. You also had, let me be careful with this, a very famous person that came out with the 10 stocks for the future type of thing. And I think 8 out of 10 had no sales. And I think all of them blew up. That person was taken in by the times and not learning from the times. So we're just, remember, everything we do is about real time, not what may or may not happen. We're just letting you know the numbers that are being announced. Gargantuan. And it has me scratching my head. Really? How much? For what? And then all of a sudden we start to see this vendor financing? Again, everything we do is in real time. Just letting you know. Heads up. What else to talk about? Well, since the Fed lowered rates, at the close today, you were at the high of what real rates have done. In other words, the day the Fed lowered their Fed funds rates, the short rates, that day the 10-year yield was hitting 4%. We're at now, not a big deal, 4.147%. Yesterday was down a little, right back up today. And I heard the new guy at the Fed put in by Trump wanting 2% Fed funds rate, even though they're at 4 right now. And even though the 10-year yield's at 4.1, the 5 years at 3.7. We think the Fed can be a little bit lower, but if he goes to 2%, here comes your inflation again. And by the way, electricity prices are up, food prices are up in the last 6 months. Just letting you know. You all see that, right? I did my little Publix look, and still noticing the chips bags are much smaller still, at the same price. Coffee's gone up a lot. Chocolate, we're nearing Halloween. I still remember those little Hershey bags, the big Hershey bags that have the little Hershey's in them. They used to be $11.99. They're $16.99 now. Just letting you know. So the 10-year yield, and also now, not what I want to see. I don't think you do. Oil prices. Now, the good news is oil prices are right in the middle of a range. They went a little higher a couple of times in the last year, a little bit lower a couple of times in the last year, but pretty much has stayed steady. By the way, pretty steady since 22. Let's hope it stays that way, because the past couple of days, oil prices have ticked up. And as we have told you many thousands of times, we do not want to see oil prices go up. Simple as that. We do not want to see oil prices go up, and certainly we do not want to see oil prices go up with 10-year yields going up. The cost of capital and energy are the two most important costs that are out there, by far, that trade on a daily basis. Of course, the home is your biggest purchase, no doubt. But that is a decision. And you can always buy something cheaper or more expensive. We're talking about the things that move things. If energy prices going up, you are moved to pay higher prices. Not only for gasoline, but for a ton of stuff that's made with petroleum. If yields go up, well, you get the point. Now, don't get us wrong. We're outlining some things today that, okay, we're just letting you know. We're giving you a little tutorial on what happened in '99. We're giving you a little tutorial from '99 that some of the characteristics are showing up. We're seeing too many no sale stuff skyrocket. Too many no sales companies skyrocket. They came in today. They sold some off and send them right back up tomorrow. So we're just paying attention. But I want to repeat one more time. The only thing matters to us is the real time, not what may or may not happen. If all of a sudden or over time things start turning down, we'll let you know. We already know there are certain areas that are bearish still. The exchanges, a lot of the big biotech. We told you travel recently looked to be getting in trouble, and they are. Healthcare, a lot of them just still wickedly in not good shape. The payroll companies, jobs, amongst some other areas. Oh, restaurants. And restaurants are still acting terribly. So we'll keep you informed. And we just simply say to you, this is what's leading, this is what's lagging. Airlines, bunch of them topping out also here. That would be part of travel, right? Rails and truckers, not great, though there's a buyout with Norfolk Southern Union Pacific. So right now, even more, we're paying a lot of attention. Not only to movement, but to yapping. And we are in recognition also, we did a little thing for you last week on a lot of the values and valuations in the trees. The Buffett indicator, the Schiller indicator. It's just some Warren Buffett, he's pretty smart. But we'll keep paying attention to what the market decides and not what anybody has to say. So, near term, little distribution, no big deal. Not the end of the world. The indices pulled back today, gold pulled back today. Few things breaking down, few things coming in, but no biggie. As of yet. And if anything changes, we'll let you know. We're going to keep talking if we keep seeing. Hey, up next, what else we got in store? Oh, yeah. That's up next. Surprise. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Ba-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Okay. Do you know that 10 stocks are now up to 41% of the S&P 500? That's unbelievable. 10 stocks are 41% of the S&P 500. That means 490 stocks are 59%. You think we're watching those 10 stocks? By the way, of those 10, Amazon near-term breakdown, yesterday. Not the end of the world, but near term. Just letting you know. Microsoft, not killing anything, but has come in after gapping up and sitting at the 50-day moving average. It's still okay. I think I'm not sure if Netflix is top 10 in the S&P. That's under a little bit of distribution. Don't quote me on that. On Netflix, I don't know if it's that. It's definitely top 20, though. So we'll be paying attention. Imagine if those 10 stocks go into a bear market. The indices will go into a bear market. Well, unless the other 490 pick up the slack. 10 stocks. Go read up about the Nifty 50 in the 70s, I believe. Whenever we've seen concentration like this, it ends badly. But I have to tell you, I could have said that 2 years ago, 1 year ago. Okie dokie. We received lots of email on free speech because we do a show and we're on Fox. And Jimmy Kimmel was back on last night. We're seeing hypocrites to the left, hypocrites to the right. More on the left on this, though. We just want you to remember, they don't care about you. Don't get so... I don't know how to put this. Don't get so neck deep into these people. They don't care. Have you noticed these scummy celebrities and the media when they kicked people on the right out off of their shows? That wasn't the end of democracy, was it? Do you remember any of that? What's his name with the Tim with the comedy show? They knocked him out. Roseanne, who, by the way, said something crummy. The Gina Carano I mentioned from Mandalorian. Some women that were on ESPN basically canned because they believe in the right, not the left. None of that ended democracy, but Jimmy Kimmel was going to end democracy. So we just want you to remember, they're full of crap. They don't care. We here believe in free speech as long as you are not inciting violence or causing violence. Simple as that. By the way, there are others that got canned or blackballed on the right. We mentioned to you about Google yesterday, about the Biden administration and Google. That wasn't the end of democracy. We just want you to remember that. There's enough BS to go out from everybody, but man, oh man, this one was quite the comedy act for somebody like me that couldn't give a crap about either side. Sides. Ugh. So I watched what Kimmel said last night for 10 minutes. He's just full of crap. Just full of crap. I watched the whole Trump speech at the UN yesterday. I watched that this morning, an hour long. I've got to tell you, there were parts I absolutely loved. And then, as usual, my love-hate relationship with the president. I love that he ripped everybody on climate change. And here was the big surprise. President Donald Trump echoed my words, word for word. One of his peeps must have watched me on TV or listened to the show. Because word for word, he stated, how many times have I said this? You ready? It used to be global cooling, and then it heated up around the globe, and they changed it to global warming. And then there were blizzards around the globe, and then they changed it to global cooling. And then they got together and changed it to climate change. That way they can never be wrong. It's exactly what Trump said yesterday. And then he talked about the other part I mentioned, about how many people have gotten rich off of it. And he also mentioned about the people that said the end of the world was coming in 10 years. And you know who that was. So we're very happy that somebody at the administration heard us. By the way, go watch it. Word for word. Your handsome and buffed host, his words, President Trump. And I have absolutely no problem using my words. I love that he went after all these maniacs in government. Thievery, stealing, based on this hoax. That we can stop tornadoes and hurricanes and earthquakes. But a lot of people have gotten mighty rich. Remember, the old line, follow the money. You all have a great evening. Drive carefully. When you get home, do like we do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. I promise. Stay well. Be well. Always appreciate your time. Until tomorrow. Good night, all. Bye-bye.